Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with K-Mac on Watch Dogs Legion, completing a mission where they have to go and steal an ambulance. It turns out it's quite a highly advanced ambulance, this one. Yes, this is the camouflaged ambulance. Quite why you would ever need that, I don't know. But yet the vehicle is completely invisible. I've played this game a fair bit, and I've never come across... I remember this mission, actually. It definitely didn't have an invisible ambulance for me. I've never come across the true phantom car. I guess Watch Dogs has got some pretty fancy tech. This is a whole nother level. Also good driving with the invisible car. Jammer up next on Just Cause 4 is trying to tether themselves to a helicopter they're protecting, which goes wrong. Very, very wrong. I don't quite know why. Normally you can hang underneath the vehicles, no problem at all, but this helicopter has had enough of Rico Shenanigans, and after tipping from side to side and hitting some mountains, it quickly explodes. It's not a good day. Not a good day for that chopper whatsoever. Down Under Thunder up next on Beam with... I mean, this is a crash that you would actually... This is a realistic, almost, failure on a vehicle. Doing a top speed run with the electric SBR4. Everything going fine when the boots decided it's had enough. I guess, you know, in reality, if like air got underneath, it could lift panels off. Like, well, I say it's kind of... I've seen bodywork fall off cars at very high speeds and so on. But it's just... It really cleanly snaps off as well, which is the most impressive thing about that one. Sticking with Beam, we have Volvo Brick Fan and a police car. Now, they're playing around with a spike strip mod, dropping it to try and slow down the police car. First one didn't really work. Second one kind of worked. It more front flipped the... Baja Piccolino off the back rather than stop the truck. You couldn't do that one better if you tried to launch the cargo off the vehicle. I mean, the Baja vehicle is now stuck on the front of the truck. It might help slow it down. Still, that is quite an impressive job. Quite an impressive job has gone on there. The truck's still going. It's slowed, but it is still on the go. Blue Subaru is up next, also on Beam. Now, this is at the canyon map, going across one of the very, very high-speed jumps. Now, we've seen some massive shunts in rally games before, where a car goes for a huge amount of rolls as this one is tumbling and twisting through the air, and the car lands and carries on its wheels. When you see it on Beam, you sometimes land your wheels and can carry on, but normally your vehicle's disintegrated from that number of rolls. That is one hell of a strong vehicle. Yes, the wheels are a bit wobbly, but the fact that landed on its wheels and could drive away from that crash is ridiculous, to be honest with you. Himi is up next on R-Factor with some shenanigans for the classic Grand Prix cars. I don't know quite which one is the player in this. What's AI, but basically this car here, the number 46 I believe it is, gets a huge out of control moment, is sort of just about got the thing back under control, can't get it slowed down over the crest, goes for a spin, pings off the wall and lands on, I think, the Auto Union or Mercedes, and just launches it. It's just that initial collision is just enough to ping the car to space. It's from a slightly different angle and just yoink, go. That's so many flips. Yes, classic Grand Prix cars are dangerous. Apparently, every so often it actually bounces off the floor and continues to cartwheel through the air. Yeah, that had a bad time. That had a bad time indeed. Welsh Toast up next on Assetto Corsa, learning why you should pay attention to yellow flags more. Comes around turn 1 a little too quickly, not slowed down enough. There's AI trouble in the way and manages to ramp and roll off of a stricken vehicle. So this was the AI cars. They went for an overtake at turn 1, didn't get it right, went for a spin. Bit of a clumsy crash, but kind of, you know, these things happen in motorsport. It's the car trying to recover that's on the circuit does an awful rejoin that clips the player vehicle that's going to appear there and launches them off the nose of the car. Okay, admittedly, yeah, the rejoin was shocking from the AI vehicle, but... rejoin attempt was terrible because it just comes across the track, and still you've got to be careful. Got to be careful with yellow flags. We move to Grand Prix 4 next with Pleb Grand Prix. This is riding on board with an AI car. Now up ahead, as we're in the pouring rain, something goes wrong for the Ferrari. It's very slow. The Jordan doesn't quite know what to do. Ends up parking. It's in a bad place. I don't know why it goes onto the grass. It does. It ends up on the grass, then struggles to figure out how to rejoin the circuit. It bumbles along up against the wall. Now another crash goes on for, I believe, the player car before the Jordan then gets absolutely murdered by something else, and everyone has a bad day as all the front wheels have come off of this one. So yeah, first of all, the AI car on the outside is doing weirdness. Now this, I believe, is on board with the player car. Now everything is stacked up because of the madness in this chicane. So everything is going slow. The Williams just about gets slowed down as they come off of this corner. The player car goes a little too much across the curb, takes off the front wing, can't stop, ends up in the outside barrier and has a crash. A kind of a sympathy crash, if you will, on all of that, and then everything piles into the back of said stricken player cars. I mean, this level of wet conditions is quite difficult as bits of debris bobble around. What happened, though, this is from the sort of third-person camera. The Jordan's already causing shenanigans over here. It's all a little bit of a mess going on. What happened further back was, I think it's a Minardi, if I remember my old Formula 1 teams, is so Williams has a crash. I don't know whether this affects the Jordan, I don't think it does. The Minardi just carries way too much speed into the chicane, splats into the back of the Jordan and fires it at the now stricken player car. It's just a bad time for all through there. Steel Guns up next on F1 2019 is running in a multiplayer race, heading down towards, I mean, the first corner at Hockenheim can be quite difficult. Everyone gets through, but it's a big spin on the outside, nowhere to go, and we're going to go for a cartwheel in a Formula 1 car. Cartwheel and crash back down to earth. It's quite a good cartwheel, I will say that much. Turn 1, Hockenheim is notoriously difficult, and too many cars into a small space led to the jump. Nothing the car we were riding on board with could have really done. He got on the brakes, it got run over from behind anyway. Finally, we have F1 gaming on Project Cars 2. This is with some Indy cars running at the Daytona circuit. Now, the AI might not quite know what they're doing around here. Watch the car in second. It is trying to go for the lead, but doesn't really know what it's doing. Ends up going below the apron, gets into all sorts of trouble trying to get it under control. Doesn't. Smacks the side of the leader, hits the wall, goes for a roll across in front of traffic, and everything goes horribly, horribly wrong until the grey vehicle parks. That'll do. We'll just leave it there. The open-wheeled cars got into a lot of trouble this week. They got into an awful, awful lot of trouble this week. But there we go. That's going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via a Google form that'll be in the description of this video. Follow that link and you can find all the rules and how it works in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.